what do you think
Weird.
was the breaking point where you knew? Was there a day? Was there a night? Was there a TV? Was there a conversation? Was there anything singularly that you can think of that was the tipping point? You said, okay, that's it. When I get an opportunity, I'm leaving.
Well, for a long time, because I really tried to like. And the funny thing is, they think I'm some kind of rogue dickhead. I was like the best employee. I never missed a town. I made like 1,000 shows straight. I did all the media. I never said no to anything. I was like, all right, well, I knew I wasn't gonna get like anointed with the golden push or whatever, but I was like, well, I'll just nose to the grindstone this so much, that that was my mentality. And I thought that was working for like a long time, and people started telling me things like, dude, you wrestled more matches than anybody this year. And then like the next year, they're like, you wrestled more matches than anybody 2 years in a row, just an absurd amount of matches or whatever. And I'm like, really? I guess so. Because I just was lucky enough to not get hurt or whatever and just kept going and going. But yeah, I pushed it so hard that my body started really breaking down like pretty badly. But I just kept going. And I had to travel, the bumps, whatever, the stuff. Because, they had me go through like 2 tables every fucking night on all these house shows. And then I wouldn't be booked on a pay-per-view, and I'd be like, what the fuck? But I pushed it really hard to where, like, I just kind of got just brain dead. To where I was just like, saving money, making towns, and it just became like a job, like clock in, hit the thing, do the thing, and once I kind of realized, like, okay, once as a babyface, I just completely became like piss warm, and just realized I was just this goofball thing, and just how they saw me, and that took a while to realize because I would see myself a different way. And eventually, once I realized, like, all right, the babyface run has hit as high as it's going to go, but I wanted to turn heel, like, forever. I pitched it forever, thinking it would, and then it just went, it took so long, but I kept thinking, like, okay, it's all going to change when I turn heel. Because in my head, I'm going to be this violent, sadistic motherfucker. So I'm thinking, like, it's all going to be good one day when I turn heel. So I'm just waiting for the right time. It's going to happen one of these times. But there's always, like, a Shield reunion or this or that or not the right time. I pitched for me and AJ Styles to do a double turn, which I still think would have been awesome. So I kept thinking that would be, like, the saving grace. That ended up being the worst thing ever. I don't know why I was naive enough to think, like, oh, if he saw me as this goofball idiot, as a good guy, he wouldn't see me as a goofball idiot as a bad guy. Because forgive me for thinking that a goofball idiot bad guy couldn't draw any money. Apparently they thought that it would, whatever. But yeah, I was just grinding, brain dead for like a long time. So then I tore my tricep when I finally got hurt. Foolishly, I worked on it for 2 months with a torn tricep because I didn't know the extent of the injury. So it was all ballooned up and like I couldn't bend it or whatever. So I walk in and I go, what the fuck's wrong with my arm? So for about 2 months, we just drain about this much fluid out of it with a needle every night before I wrestle. And I'm going to Europe, Abu Dhabi, like all over the place. And it just starts getting worse and just hurting more, and my arm starts atrophying, and I'm like, now I'm starting to get really fucking miserable and just like trying to figure out what's wrong with my arm. Finally, I get it like properly diagnosed. You got a torn tricep, got to go for surgery. And surgery, the repair itself went perfectly. They did say, though, they're like, oh, we found some, like, infection in there, and it was what's called MRSA. It was the first time I heard that. They're like, so, yeah, when you were getting it drained every single night, that was probably where you picked it up. But so I had to be on a bunch of antibiotics or whatever. And then a few weeks later, there was still some left in what's called a bursa sac in your elbow, and that's what exploded out of my elbow. That was January of 2018. So I had to go in for surgery again to clean out all this infection. That was the gross picture that they put on the Countdown show. That was actually from 2018. But then the same thing happened again, like almost 2 years later, because there was still just a little tiny bit left in there that had just been stewing forever. So anyway, while I'm off, I was thinking like, I checked out mentally. I was just like, I'm done with this shit, because I was just in so much physical pain and just mental that I was like, all right. I was actually relieved to be able to go home and be hurt. Like for the first month, I was like, this is great. I'm gonna watch fucking Family Guy and get drunk all day. This is great. And it ended up being a long recovery process, but it was like July where I started to realize like I was not excited to come back, like at all. I was thinking like, that's when I talked about this in other shows, you know, like that's when I realized I was like getting excited about wrestling again once I got healthy. But I was like, oh man, do I really got to go back to WWE though? Can I go to like fucking CZW or something? I remember I was training with Joey Mercury, who was at Ring of Honor at the time. And he was telling me like, yeah, we just sold out Madison Square Garden with New Japan and Ring of Honor, man. We got all this stuff going on. He was telling me about it. And I was like, damn, man, can you take me with you? Because I got to go back to WWE, damn it. And I was like, picturing like all these terrible ideas they were having for me, and it was just making me like incredibly anxious. I was like, oh God, and but I was like, all right, I still got that heel turn on the horizon. That's my I'm gonna give him one last shot. I got this, heel turn's coming. That gets put off and put off and put off. Eventually do it. That goes to shit real quick, but I knew I was gone in the summer while I was off, but I was like, I knew I wasn't gonna leave early. I wasn't gonna deal with getting in legal shit. I knew I was gonna ride out the contract, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this, if this heel turn goes good, and you know, it could be, we'll see. But I was being optimistic. The whole time though that I was going like, the whole time from the time I came back to about the beginning of the year, I knew I was leaving, but I was like pissed about it. I wasn't like excited to leave yet. I was like bitter about it, because I'm like, I can't believe they're gonna make me leave. They're gonna make me walk away from all this money. I can't believe that. Can we not just write one good storyline? Can we not write one good promo? Does everything have to be fucking stupid? Does everything have to make me look like an idiot? Like, for fuck's sake, you're gonna make me walk away from all this fucking money. Because it's not like I didn't want that money, you know? I was like, yeah, I want it, but I'm not doing that shit again. I'm like, so I was like pissed. I'm like, I can't believe they're so fucking incompetent that they're gonna make me walk away from all this money. Jesus Christ, like, I know I gotta go back to the Indies. Fuck it, let's go. After about January 1st, because I remember me and Renee went on a hike to Turtle Head Peak. It's in Red Rock Canyon. The night before, you know, I was all bitching about the same shit I've been bitching about all the time. And I was like, all right, tomorrow we're going to hike. Starting this year off good. Because January 1st of 2018, I woke up with the fucking alien head in my arm. That's what that picture on the Countdown show was. So I was like, okay, 2018 sucked. 2019 is going to be good. We're starting it off with a hike, fresh air. It's going to be good. And, you know, you clear your head, you start talking or whatever. And it was like, I'd already known I was going to leave, but it's like, that was the day I was like, I started to think about what it would actually look like. I'm like, okay, I'll go to Japan. I don't know where in Japan, but one of them, there's a bunch of companies in Japan. I'll go over there. I'll go back to the Indies. And I'll just like make my own schedule. Oh, that'd be sweet, because I'll be able to make my own schedule. Dude, and I was like, man, we gonna have free time. We could schedule a vacation for once, actually. This is gonna be great. And I started to get excited about it. I'm like, that's when I was like, oh, I'm leaving. It's gonna be awesome. And then at that point, I got excited about it. And then, and that was before the AEW thing even happened.